Brad.
Does it, Nathan?
Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, you vanished in the night.
Exactly. How's life treating you?
Going over there.
Good, good. Hey, something. Good to see you.
I think I heard her say, "It's so great to see you, Fred. You're my favorite."
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. I know exactly what she said.
So damn good to see you, Paul. Happy to Jessica. That's like,
God.
You know,
It was exactly what they said it was. They cut that up.
It's just like they did a long stop for 2 years ago or so.
They all staff up unnecessarily. Quite frankly, I'm grateful.
My son joined the marching band, and it got cold during football season. We looked around and saw a really thick bench seats with backs on them, and they were really thick. And you could see them on them off switch. They had built-in heaters. Brilliant, because you know you're cold as sin.
I would imagine. Germantown, that was the closest one here. Since I lived in Germantown, I was the closest one here, so.
Brad, you want a shot?
Huh?
You want me to shoot?
No, he'll be here in a minute. That's the general in charge of
okay.
He's the general in charge of USAM on the left. Actually, I got the vaccine long.
Oh, good. Good.
Oh, good.
Really?
Nice to see you.
Okay, so you good to get you.
He's got my wife with her second.
Any,
I know. All of a sudden, people are partying.
any,
I just have never met you.
second shot? Or
Yeah, good to meet you in
That's
person.
Pfizer and
You can tell me why.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. My nose.
yeah, I'll go.
Oh, here we go. It looks like you're starting to walk. So what time is it? What happened? Ramirez, it's good to see you. How's it going?
That's the end of it.
You got it up. You got the how many kids out there you have to do, right? 6 or whatever. I don't know.
Make sure we talked at least once or twice.
Good.
Great. Love and life. We had so many others. We were allowed to hug your grandkids.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for hanging with us. I know it's been a long day. We appreciate you all being here. Again, my name is Alan Etzler, Public Information Officer for Frederick Police Department. I'm going to list off our two speakers for now, but also we're really thankful for the collaboration of the other agencies today. So I want to shout out a couple of the representatives we've had. We're joined by Frederick Mayor Michael O'Connor, Colonel Dexter Nunnally, Garrison Commander of Fort Detrick, Frederick County Fire Chief Tom Co, Lieutenant Andrew Alcorn, Frederick Police Department, Shay Gibson, Special Agent in Charge, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, FBI Baltimore Field Office, Tim Jones, Special Agent in Charge, ATF, and Maryland State Police Captain Eric Corbin, Troop Commander for Maryland State Police, Western Maryland. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief of Police for Frederick Police Department, Chief Jason Lando, and following that will be Brigadier General Michael Talley from Fort Detrick. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again for bearing with us today. I know it's been a long day. I'm going to update you on some of the investigative things that have taken place, and then General Talley will provide an update on anything that happened within the confines of the military base. Our shooter today, our suspect has been identified as 38-year-old Fantahoon, middle name Gurma, and I'm going to spell the last name for you. W-O-L-D-E-S-E-N-B-E-T. We can confirm that he is an active member of the Navy at the rank of E4. He resides in the city of Frederick, not on the military base, and his residence is in the 100 block of Willowdale in the city of Frederick. To update you on the location of the shooting, we are now able to confirm that in the tech park there is a military institution there. It's tied to the military, to the Navy, and that is where the shooting took place. So there is a connection to the Navy there. I can confirm to you that a rifle was used. I can't give you any more information on the weapon right now as to the caliber or anything like that, but I can confirm that a rifle was used, and I'm just going to let this airplane fly overhead here. Regarding our victims, one victim is in critical condition at Baltimore Shock Trauma, remains in critical condition. Our second victim, very thankfully, is being treated but expected to be released tomorrow. So we're very thankful for that. We have been in touch with the victims' families, and they are at the hospital with their loved ones. With that, I'm going to turn it over to General Talley, and then after he speaks, we will jointly be available to answer any questions you might have that we are able to answer at this time. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon. And I want to first start by rendering our deepest condolences to the family members that have been involved here. As Chief mentioned, we have two sailors that have been wounded, and we want to make sure that you know that our thoughts and prayers are with those family members. I want to thank the law enforcement here in Frederick County, the City of Frederick Police Department, along with the Fort Detrick Police Department and EMS. The collaboration and the synchronization with which they operated absolutely was done textbook, and certainly ultimately probably prevented further injuries and further loss. At approximately 8:45 this morning, we had the subject driving a personally owned vehicle come through the gates of Fort Detrick. Just prior to that, the Frederick Police Department had issued a BOLO report, or a be on the lookout report for the vehicle and certainly the subject. The subject was stopped at the gate, and before he was able to be searched, he sped past the gate, made it about a half mile into the installation. He was pursued immediately by the Fort Detrick Quick Reaction Force. They were able to stop him in a parking lot. He then brandished a weapon, and our police department was able to neutralize the subject. Life-saving efforts by the police department and the EMS were rendered for about 20 minutes unsuccessfully, where the subject was pronounced deceased at the scene. Again, just want to be clear that there were no other injuries on Fort Detrick, no other casualties, and certainly it was the response and the coordinated effort between our local police force here, Fort Detrick, all being executed within minutes, that absolutely led to further life-saving steps and potentially injury prevention. Again, just want to thank everyone for being here today, and pending any questions, I think that's it. Thank you. Can you repeat your question, ma'am? Coming in. Yeah. Yeah, so right now we don't want to compromise any part of the investigation. But motive, that'd be speculative. We are still investigating motive, investigating the exact circumstances of the subject. Did exit the vehicle, and that's when our officers were able to neutralize the subject and prevent further loss of life.
General, is this where he worked? Is this where the suspect was assigned to work? Was this his workplace?
No, it is not.
Was that on Fort Detrick where he worked? Was he assigned to Fort Detrick?
He is assigned to Fort Detrick.
Does it look like this was a targeted shooting?
We can't tell at this point, sir. Again, still under investigation, but that's going to be one of the things that we piece together in the hours and days to come.
General, is there any indication that the suspect knew these victims?
Again, we don't want to compromise any aspect of the investigation, and that's something that our authorities are looking into to find out the relationships, why it began here, etc. But right now, would like to see the investigation develop before we speculate on that.
General, the chief said that the suspect brandished a rifle at the initial incident. Was that the same weapon that was brandished at Fort Detrick?
We don't know. Again, we're going to have to complete the investigation to confirm whether or not that was the same weapon, same description, obviously a rifle, and that's what led to our actions from the Fort Detrick Police Department.
Were there any other weapons found in the vehicle, sir?
I don't know of any weapons found in the vehicle other than what was found.
Did he breach security? Did he breach security on Fort Detrick?
He didn't necessarily breach security initially. He was stopped, again, based on the BOLO, and before he could be adequately searched, he was able to proceed past the gate, so he did proceed without authorization, and that's when our police department pursued him to make him stop.
At the time that he was being questioned at the gate, what measures did they take to try to slow him down?
Before the measures they took were visual signals. They verbalized to him to pull over, and before they could render the situation safe, told that the subject pulled off ahead and was able to enter the base again while in hot pursuit from our police department.
But at that time, at the
what
gate,
does this
at the
office
gate,
do? This Navy office do? Can you tell us?
I tell you, with because we have a small installation, Fort Detrick relatively small, I prefer not to comment on that time, just because of the low density of the units that are on the installation, and rather than talk about his specific unit, would prefer to delay that until we can get all the facts and further investigation.
Can you say if it's related to U.S. AMRIT?
I can't say.
Tell us about the Navy installation here.
It's not related to you, Sanford.
The Navy installation here. Tell us a little more about what's done here.
Here at Fort Detrick?
No. Here at this location, the Navy installation
Yeah.
here at this office park.
I can't comment on that specifically. I do have one of the reps from the Navy PAO, and if we don't have the information, we'll get back to you. But rather than just go off of what I've heard, would rather have the facts for you.
Who's taking lead in this investigation?
The FBI.
Just so we're clear, when he was stopped at the gate by the guards, did they know that he was the subject of the bolo?
They had to take the facts that had been given to them, a vehicle description, and before they were able to confirm that, hey, it was this shooter, it meets the description, they were in the process of ascertaining whether or not it matched the bolo.
So they didn't know that he was the subject of the bolo?
At that point, when they stopped him in the holding area, they were trying to confirm that.
General, can you tell us the two victims, were they assigned to this location here? And also, we had heard people describe one of the victims as terrified and hiding as if he was being chased by this shooter. Can you shed any more light on that?
I can't comment what did not happen on Fort Detrick, and you're talking specifically about the initial incident that took place here in this vicinity. I'll pass that to Chief Londo, but I don't have information on that, and he would have that kind of information.
Thank you. We just couldn't comment on that at this time. Our detectives would need to conduct interviews, and that would be speculative at this point in time. So,
Chief, you don't want to talk about the motive. I understand that at this point, but the Navy is involved, research involved, you know, and someone that's in the Navy. Can you sort of steer it to say that this was some sort of a personal matter versus some sort of an attack on the mission here, or you know?
well,
What I'm you know what I'm getting at?
I respect what you're getting at. Probably what you don't see is about 50 detectives right now that are working to figure all that information out. So for me to even speculate on what it would be inappropriate. But just rest assured that is something that we are actively working on, and we want to know just as much as you.
Are you clear at this point whether the shooting was inside or outside the building? Were there other victims in this Navy facility who weren't shot, but is there a number of people who were sort of sought and terrorized?
Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Come up to the mic.
I guess first question, do you know now for sure whether it was inside or outside, and was there a number of personnel in this Navy facility beyond the two who were wounded?
Sorry, Lieutenant Andrew Alcorn, last name Alcorn. To answer your question, I don't know if there were any additional Navy employees inside of the installation when it occurred. I can tell you that the shooting occurred inside of the building, yes.
Roughly how long was he roaming around with that rifle before he got to Fort Detrick?
The call came in here at 8:20, and then I think you said 8:45 he made it to Fort Detrick. So during that time frame, we had reports of his vehicle in the area, and we were actively searching for him during that entire time.
Why was headed back to the base after this initial event? Was he targeting more people? Can you shed any light on that?
No, we don't. We're still trying to sort through stacks of paper, just trying to figure out exactly what the motive would be. And like the chief and the general said, we don't want to give you all some information that would be false or not completely accurate right now. We want to give you the information when we are able to verify it. So that's what we're trying to do.
Chief, can you go through the name one more time? Could you please spell first, middle, and last names, please?
Sure, I will spell all three names.
Thank you.
First name is Fantahun, F as in Frank, ANTAHUN. Middle name Girma, GIRMA, and last name WOLDESEN, B as in boy, ET.
You said earlier that the two wounded victims are sailors, correct?
I didn't confirm who they were. I believe the general would have to do that, but I could tell you that we know their conditions and that their family is with them. That's what I said.
General, can you tell us, was the subject supposed to be at work today at 9 a.m.? I mean, is there any indication that he was heading to work after all this?
Yeah, all of that we are going to determine. We are going to determine what his disposition was, why he went back to Fort Detrick, etc. So that's going to come out in the investigation, and that's one of the key questions, without a doubt.
General, at this time, do you know if there's any type of red flag on the victim of the shooter?
Was there a red flag on him? At this time, don't know. Don't know his mental status at the time, and we're certainly going to find all that out.
Can you tell us how long he's been here in the area in Frederick?
I don't know. We'll find that out, or we'll be able to get back with you with specific information on that, rank, name, and all that.
We can't totally see up there. Is the Navy installation, is it labeled up there, or is it sort of incognito?
Are you talking about on Fort Detrick?
I'm talking about what I understood to be the Navy facility here.
Yeah.
If it's labeled as such.
Yeah. So, I don't think it's clearly labeled with Navy. I'll let you go from there. It's a good question.
Is there any indication that he made any earlier threats, suspect?
At this time, we don't have that information. Again, as we put the pieces together and find out his disposition, background, and complete motivation behind that is certainly a question we're going to have answered.
And can you speak to the community? Is the community shaken by this? The sailors on the beach right now. I mean, this follows the string of violence that we have seen spread across the area.
Yeah. I can assure you we are applying full resources to ensure that we have the right behavioral health support, the right chaplain support set up for all of those that may have been touched by this. The Navy, in combination with Army resources, they actually sent down a behavioral health sprint team that are part of the Walter Reed Network. They're on the installation. They are providing services to all those that have been affected. We've also set up a hotline just to ensure that any resources that are needed, any help or assistance is needed, is in place as we get through this as a community. I want to point out that on Fort Detrick, and it's unfortunate that these types of incidents have occurred, to your point. And it so happens we had been in the process of conducting training, rehearsals, a week away from actually doing an exercise involving a similar scenario. And the training, certainly the procedures that we took on the base while all this was going on, kicked in at the right time, and it was important that I think we recognize that this situation that we're in now, this what's become all too often having these incidents. It's important to realize that hey, we were as prepared as we could be for something like this, and all procedures, all protocols were followed, and that includes certainly the response from our collective local authorities in coordination with Fort Detrick's police department and EMS.
General, I understand you don't want to get into what his job was, but was part of his job carrying a weapon? Understanding he's active duty military, but was this a service weapon?
Not that we're aware of. Again, that's going to come out in the investigation. Not sure at this juncture.
Can you say how long you've been in the military with the Navy?
We don't want to comment on length of service at this time. Again, all of that will be brought forward here at a later time.
Was he supposed to be here at this time?
We're going to find that out. Was it a scheduled work day? Was he there at a prescribed time? We're gonna absolutely find out if there's actual some sort of reason while he was here and what that purpose was.
General, is he Ethiopian?
I can't make any comments on his identity or background at this time.
General, just to clarify, you said that he was stopped at security and they motioned him to stop, to pull over. Was there any physical barrier stopping him from going through? Did he blow through a gate, or was there nothing stopping in front of the car?
So prior to the physical barrier being erected, again, basically had the forces go towards his vehicle to stop him, confirm that he fit the BOLO description. Again, we have a vehicle description at this point when he stopped, and he actually sped past the barrier, may have got past it in a fairly quick manner. Again, police were in pursuit immediately when he didn't follow instructions.
Okay, so he caused damage to a barrier, he broke something down, something like that?
No, ma'am, no damage to a barrier.
General, did they have eyesight on the car the whole time on base, or was there a period where they were searching for him?
As far as I know, and just the distance from the main access control point to where the subject stopped, not a lot of, he was under visibility there for the entire time. So they had fixed, I think, his location, and again took the right actions to pursue him and neutralize the situation.
How long was the pursuit inside the base?
No more than 4 minutes is what I'm told. And I'm just calculating that based off of the distance from the main ACP until the time the subject was apprehended and stopped. Couldn't have been any more than that.
This building on Monocacy, does it deal with medical or intelligence in any way?
I can't comment on that.
Does
I'm
it
not
fall
sure.
under your garrison, so to speak? Is it at all a part of your responsibility?
It's not part of my responsibility. Represents an overflow area for naval work and naval applications.
What exact agency shot the suspect? You said it was a response team that came and followed him. Who was that?
Yep. So just as part of our procedures at our access control point, this is something they practice, they train for all the time, so that when there is an intrusion on the base or someone breaks protocol, they are trained to quickly apprehend subjects, whether it's accidental or not. So it's something that they train at quite a bit. So almost immediately they were able to get on board their respective patrol vehicles, and they pursued the victim very quickly, the subject very quickly.
Members of the Army?
No, these are this is part of our civilian Fort Detrick Police Department, DA civilians, Department of the Army civilians.
Was the suspect in uniform? Navy uniform today?
We are going to get back with you on that. Again, as part of the overall investigation, we're going to let that develop before we divulge anything like that.
How old are the victims again, and what was the suspect vehicle?
We're going to refrain from commenting on specifics about the victims. I think you know that they were assigned to Fort Detrick. Naval personnel still completing the next of kin notification, almost complete with it. And at that time, we'll provide more details about the victims.
Could you at least tell us
Two sailors assigned to Fort Detrick.
That's correct.
There's a blue truck that was blocked off by tape. Can you tell us what that's about?
To my knowledge, I don't believe that that's involved. Yeah. I'm going to leave that up to Lieutenant Alcorn if he wants to comment.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question. There's a lot of different steps with the investigation. We're working in concert with NCIS and ATF, FBI. So the Frederick Police Department is handling the crime scene here in the city. The FBI is handling the crime scene on base. So we're working together to make sure that all our bases are covered. We're constantly in contact with each other. We've been in contact with each other all day. So there's a lot of different steps we have to go through. We're not going to discuss all those right here, right now, but you know, as more information comes forward over the next 24 hours or so, we'll definitely be able to give that to you.
Has a violent incident like this ever happened before on the base? First time?
Not to this magnitude. Not that I'm aware of. Not to this magnitude on Fort Detrick. Again, just unfortunate that it did occur, but in light of what's happened, you know, certainly across the country, we were about as well prepared for it as we could.
And the training that you were talking about, was that in response to the violence that we saw just outside of the Capitol just a few days ago, or was that training already planned?
It was already planned, and if you just think about active shooter incidents writ large, you know, going back to you know, Columbine or others, these are measures that we've actively taken in the military, and we've had incidents like this. Make sure that we're prepared, and we could go through certainly the procedures that would take place in the event something like this were to happen.
And is this a concern, a growing concern for the military, the rise in violence?
I think that you know, certainly the rise in violence is something we're well aware of. but anytime those of us in uniform are certainly performing our missions, there's always risks. And it's imperative that we're prepared as much as we can be in the event something like this happens.
Do you think that there will need to be more fortification of the base in light of the fact that he was able to kind of go around whatever you had in place there? There wasn't a good barrier that he crashed into or a gate he crashed into. He was able to maneuver around personnel. Do you need more security in place there?
Yeah, so that's something we're definitely going to look into. And to be clear, there was no running into any barriers. We have an automatic barrier system. We are going to absolutely uncover what happened, why it happened, and if there is a need to put in additional control measures, we absolutely will. But when that barrier actually stood up, or if it didn't, or if he drove around it, we're going to find out and unpack the details as much as we can in the next few days. And certainly, if we need to add additional control measures, we will do just that.
We'll take 3 more. Where exactly did the shooting happen? Was it the end of this building, Chief? Where was this all this?
Right up in the tech park up there, in one of the what looks to be a storefront is where it took place.
Chief, could you talk to us about how you feel on a day like this happening in your
We talked about this earlier. It's unfortunate. It's sad. Like I said this morning, every time you turn on the news, there's something like this happening. All we can do, I mean, today it happened in Frederick. A week or so ago, it happened in Boulder. It seems like every day. So all we can do is, whether we're in the military and civilian law enforcement, is assess our ability to respond, our training, our equipment, and make sure that we're always prepared to protect the community. We always hope that we don't get that call. Today we got that call. Tomorrow it could be another agency. So it's a sad fact of life, but that's why we're here. And I was just glad to see everyone came together and did their jobs well today.
Last question. Good? Thank you.
So rather than, just as a follow-up, rather than schedule another time right now because we don't know where the investigation is going to take us, our PIO is going to put out, they'll put out an email blast with any follow-up press conferences that we'll do, so just so you're not sitting here all afternoon in the sun. All right? Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone, we would actually like to get this road back open, so if we could move interviews that you guys want to do over to the side and move the mics, that would be great. Sorry, say that again.
Brad, did you have your card?
Yes. FYI, I shot it on a 2-shot showing the sign language person. Rich G. Rich G might have shot it tighter, I don't know.